Hello viewers, how are you? Hope you will be fine. Today we are going to discuss something about the fill media present in cooling towers. So first of all we will discuss something about the major components in cooling towers that make the process that heat exchange possible and efficient. One of those essential components is that cooling tower fill. Let us have a deeper look. One of the major parts of cooling towers is fill media. It is the main heat transfer area available. Fills are normally made of polypropylene, PVC, or wood. Cooling tower fill is also known as wet deck or surface. It is medium to increase the surface area of the industrial cooling towers for the water. The extended surface area enables the optimum level of contact between the air and the water, which ultimately allows greater evaporation rates. And cooling tower fills make it possible to have enough surface area for hot water to cool down quickly. So it was a brief introduction of fills media of cooling towers. Let us have a look on the types of fills in cooling towers. So it was a brief introduction of fills in cooling towers. Now we will discuss the main types of fills in cooling towers. So there are two types of fills in cooling towers. The first one is splash fill and second one is film fill. In splash fill, many layers of slats or bars make a splash fill. When hot water in industrial water cooling towers comes in contact with these bars or slates, it breaks down into tiny particles. These small particles enable increased contact between the water and air that is found within the atmosphere. This process accelerates the rate of evaporation and cooling. Initially, splash media used to made using wood. However, now manufacturers are using more modern designs by adopting PVC. It allows a higher rate of heat transfer. Normally, industries that produce excess filthy water in plenty use splash fill, since that will convert water into smaller droplets and will separate the dirt and debris from it. It was all about splash fill. Now the second type is film fill. In film fill, it is made by closely placing the PVC sheets together. These PVC sheets create a very large surface area in industrial cooling towers. It allows the circulation of hot air and let the air come in contact with the film of the material. It increases the rate of heat transfer, which allows the water to cool down. The film fill is especially designed to cool water that is good enough for the human consumption. The fill will collect the debris within the water. So we have discussed two types of fill in cooling towers. Now we are moving towards the function of fill in cooling towers. The primary function of cooling tower fill is increasing heat emission, extend the residence time of cooling water, increase the heat transfer and heat transfer area, and distribute heat evenly. The sheet of cooling tower fills is made of material that is shaped into a grooved pattern, which lets the water travel across. It can be easily stacked into blocks in order to create various heights and thickness to fit individual cooling towers. Now moving towards the principle of operation of the fill in cooling towers. So the purpose of the fill application is to cool hot wastewater. The structure of the fill allows hot water to cool quickly. This is the primary reason people choose film fill over the splash fill in their industrial cooling towers. The principle of the operation in a cooling tower is heat transfer, which happens due to the water evaporation. Evaporation is a natural phenomenon. Water evaporates until it is in contact with air. However, evaporation cannot exceed the saturation point of the air. Consequently, the total evaporation will depend upon the moisture holding capacity of the air, which ultimately depends on humidity. It was all about the principles of operation of fill in cooling towers. Now we are moving towards the purpose of fill in a cooling tower. The purpose of fill in a cooling tower is cooling down the water in order to make the complete use of water resources. It also focuses on reducing the load of urban water supply network and reduction in the operation costs. So cooling water is treated by the cooling towers and later recycled as well. Things to consider while replacing the cooling tower packing. It is essential to have diagonally staggered waveforms within the monolithic so that they can have good thermal resistance. A blocked plug will make the cleaning difficult, and if the jam is serious, it will need a replacement as a whole, which will ultimately increase the cost. So, in the end, it is very important to know the selection criteria of the fills in cooling towers. For this purpose, film fill and splash fill both can efficiently facilitate the cooling of water and its evaporation within the cooling towers. However, both types of fills have their own advantages and disadvantages too. Film fill generates a bigger surface area, hence it produces more efficient heat transfer. The drawback of film fill is that generally it has a shorter lifespan due to more wear and tear, constantly exposed to water of high temperature. On the other hand, a splash fill fits perfectly if you operate a cooling tower that requires the circulating of low quality water with higher amount of solids in it. The bars and the metal grills in splash fill make it much more resilient and highly effective when the cooling tower is exposed to high temperatures. Cooling towers involve a vital role of manufacturing processes. If you want detailed information about the film media and cooling towers, it is best to get in touch with the industrial cooling tower manufacturers. Using cooling towers inappropriately in industrial productions results in inefficient heat dissipation, stagnant production, and risk of high water temperatures. So viewers, it was all about the film media in cooling towers. Hope you will enjoy the video. For more content like this, please subscribe the channel.